Hi, I'm your host, Marsha Florence for Just Ask. Today our show is Bridging Communities Incorporated. Hurry back and join us. Hi, and welcome to the show. My name is Marsha Florence for Just Ask, and today our show is Bridging Communities Incorporated with the Elder Care Director himself, Mr. David Estabrook. Good morning, Mr. Estabrook.
Hi, Marcia. Thanks for having us. We appreciate having the opportunity to talk about our program.
Oh, good. Now, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I was reading an article in one of my favorite papers. I think it was the front page. And I noticed in the article it said something about you're needing of volunteers. So I definitely wanted to have you come aboard and tell us about Bridging Communities Incorporated first and what your need is.
Okay. Well, again, we rely on volunteers for all of our services. 365 days a year, there's a volunteer need to provide support for our recipients. So I'm glad that the paper had the article about us, and I'm glad that you saw it.
Right. I was an avid reader. Okay. So tell us, what is Bridges Community?
Well, we started off about 28 years ago as a collaboration of faith leaders, business leaders, and union leaders who looked around the region of Southwest Detroit and noticed that services for our seniors was not where it should be. Our faith leaders noticed that seniors were not attending their worship services as frequently. Our business leaders noticed that the older folks were not coming and patronizing their shops. And our union leaders wanted to do something for their retirees. Okay. So we developed a collaborative mission to develop volunteers to provide those supportive services to, again, re-engage our seniors in the Southwest Detroit community and let them live their golden years as goldenly as possible.
Okay, well, that was a nice collaboration. I mean, ideally, someone noticed that there's a lot of change within the community and it was declining because of the non-involvement of the elders in that area.
That's true, and unfortunately, as we age, we have reduction in our ability to be involved in access services or access things that we used to do. As we age, we become more frail, and unfortunately, then that limits what our participation in the community. Okay. In addition, there are several factors that also inhibited our seniors. Their young adult children had moved out of the Southwest Detroit area, okay. And so they did not have family support to drive them back and forth to shops or to their worship services. Or doctor appointments and the like. So because of the lack of family support, there was a need to have other folks involve themselves with our senior population.
Now, who's actually eligible for this program?
Our seniors range in age anywhere from age 60 to, we have a fellow that's 106 years old. Wow. That we're providing support for. Also, we're a subcontract organization from one of your past guests, the Detroit Area Agency on Aging, and we're subcontracted to do outreach and assistance programming in the Southwest Detroit area. So we service seniors in 5 zip codes in Southwest Detroit, basically an area from the Lodge Freeway on our eastern border to the Detroit city limits on our west. Grand Boulevard and Tireman on our northern border to the Detroit River on our southern border. Okay. So in that region, and those 5 zip codes are noted up on the board above, that we reach about 2,000 seniors every year with our services.
Those zip codes are very important. So our viewers should know. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I knew somebody was going to ask, what's that board for? So that should be noted that those are the areas, zip code areas that are basically covered by your services.
Right. The 48208, 48209, 48210, 48216, 48217 are the areas where we provide services. There are other organizations like us in the AAA Collaborative Network that provide services in other regions of the city.
Okay, okay, all right, that's wonderful. Well, David, I tell you what, we're going to come back and talk about these facilities you have here. So we're going to take a break. Ladies and gentlemen, hurry back and join us because we're talking to David Estabrook from Bridging Communities Incorporated, and we'll be right back.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're going to beat them and bust them. Beat them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad
One more
today.
time. Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys.
If a natural disaster happened, we'd probably all meet around the grocery store.
We would all meet at a bus stop.
Oh, we'd probably meet at our neighbor's house.
And welcome back to the second half of the show. For those of you who are just now joining us, we have here with us the elder care director himself, David Estabrook from Bridging Communities Incorporated. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Estabrook here with us today because our seniors is getting ready to go into the winter months. We want to help prepare everybody for those cold months. And if volunteering is your thing, we want to make sure that you contact Mr. Estabrook's office and get some information on how you can volunteer and be involved. And we're going to find out some more services that they have as well. So, David, we left off with some information about these facilities. So starting off with these facilities here, is it Pablo Davis Elder Living Center?
Right.
Okay.
That's as our organization evolved, we developed we observed that unfortunately many of our seniors were living in 16-room Victorian homes and only using the first 3 rooms of their homes, maybe the dining room, the kitchen, and the bedroom. That whole upstairs of their homes were unfortunately not being used because they became increasingly frail. Their arthritis had set in. They couldn't use the stairs any longer. So we developed the Pablo Davis Elder Living Center as a response to that to provide affordable, low-cost housing for our seniors in Southwest Detroit in 1- and 2-bedroom independent living options. So our seniors who maybe not be able to manage a 16-room home, could manage a 1- or 2-bedroom apartment, could have a place to stay that was affordable, and they could maintain their connections with the butcher in the neighborhood and the hairdresser that knows exactly how their hair likes to be done.
The artist's work right there itself is beautiful. So now let me ask you this: is all this ranch level? Because this looks kind of high. So is it ranch level housing or is it both?
There are single-story apartments, but the building itself is two levels. So there are first and second floor apartments for folks. That opened up in 1999. In 2006, we opened our second unit of independent living homes called Heritage Place at Magnolia, which is in the old Tiger Stadium region. Again, 1- and 2-bedroom apartments for folks that are independent living.
Now, I've seen that facility a couple of times. Matter of fact, where I worked at, that building, I kept noticing that's a very nice and well-kept building. And so just looking at it alone, I thought it was a nice, like high-rise apartment building. So but that's actually a senior care, was a senior center? Is it
Well, not necessarily senior center because, again, there aren't activities going on there. The folks there are welcome to come and go as they please. They live there independently. Some of them are still working. Some of them are staying to help assist take care of an older
mainly on the
another
independent
relative.
level?
It's independent living, yes, indeed.
Okay.
That's 4 stories of independent living, 1- and 2-bedroom apartments, and the like. And then our latest endeavor is the development of grand families housing. What we noticed with our experience in Pablo Davis Elder Living Center and Heritage Place, that oftentimes grandparents were having their grandchildren come and stay with them in the apartments. And when you have a 5-year-old on a big wheel and a 90-year-old with arthritis on a walker coming around blind corners, it's a recipe for disaster.
Right.
And so we have developed grand families housing, which will be 2- and 3-bedroom condominium-style townhomes for grandparents who have legal responsibility for their grandkids.
That is wonderful.
There in the city of Detroit, there are 17,000 grandparents who fall into that category, and unfortunately, there aren't housing options for them. This is the first of its kind actually in the state of Michigan, and there will be supportive supportive services there within the development, social work, case management to help our grandparents negotiate through the system of getting their services for their grandkids.
So how much of this information is known to the community? Because a lot of people, and today it will be known, but a lot of people may not be aware of the services that you all offer. You know, so. Give us some more services that you guys have.
Well, you're able to find us on the web. www.bridgingcommunities.org is our website. We also collaborate with United Way in our volunteer recruitment efforts. So if you go to volunteersolutions.org or volunteermatch.org, you can find out volunteer opportunities for our organization.
Is there a phone number in case those who are not computer savvy?
Yes, and they can certainly call us at 313-361-6377 to discuss housing options if they have a relative that is in our Southwest Detroit area that would need our services, or if they would like to volunteer and be part of that support network that we're seeking to build. That would be another reason for them to call.
Okay. Now, in the event that you all have provided housing, I see on this other side of the board the services, case manager, elder care, elder advisory, things like that. Give us some little information about each one of those units or components.
Okay. Well, as our organization evolved, we started off in the church basement with one volunteer coordinator hooking up with volunteers. We developed then a need. There were some seniors that had greater needs than volunteers could provide. So we have evolved to include social work, case management for our seniors. We also then have, as part of that program, we do elder advocacy with the city, with utility companies, with legal issues and
now that's a real important one, because elder advocacy, to me, is one of those situations where the elderly are trying to maintain their home. They're on a fixed income. The mortgages went up for some strange reason. Taxes have increased, and you got these utility bills eating at you, and I need medication or I need food. And somehow something's not going to be met. And I believe that a lot of our seniors sometimes end up dying before their real time should be, because they're too busy trying to pay utility bills and pass mortgages and stuff that they don't eat.
Yes.
They won't get the medicine. It's between, do I get my medicine? Do I get something to eat? Do I pay the light bill? Do I pay the water bill? And they don't have family. Some people are single and and living alone, and some people have children who no longer come around and things like that. As an advocacy program, if a person has a utility problem, can they come or contact your agency for services like that?
We would be able to get them hooked up with the appropriate services to negotiate with the utility companies to find resources for them, so they're not stretching their budgets quite as far or not foregoing giving up their medicine or food in the interim.
Okay.
In addition to that, our seniors do unfortunately deal with that fixed income issues. Most of our seniors' incomes range anywhere from about $400 a month to maybe $1,200 a month.
Right.
They're, as I said, they're living in these 16-room homes that haven't been insulated since maybe the 50s, and unfortunately their heat and utility bills just skyrocketing through the roof.
Yeah.
We have developed our volunteer home repair program to assist in the maintenance of our seniors' homes, so they can live in the accommodations that they've become accustomed to. Okay. And we also work with the City of Detroit. There are grant programs that the City of Detroit offers that offer home repair assistance as well. We employ volunteers, well, not employ, but we use volunteers to also then do those type of home repairs. The lady that you see here actually had not been out of her house for 5 years.
Okay.
She used an electric wheelchair user,
Okay.
and she didn't have capacity, family members or anything, to be able to lift the wheelchair down the front steps, the 6 steps, to get out of her house. And once the wheelchair was down, she wouldn't have way to get down the steps herself.
Right.
So we had volunteers that came and devoted 3 weekends of their time to build a wheelchair ramp for this lady.
That's
That
beautiful.
she
Okay.
viewed as an escape hatch
Okay.
for because she was seeing the
Right.
same 5 walls or
But
the
she
same
was
4 walls all the time.
fortunate enough to have contact with your agency to get that type of assistance. So did someone, I mean, did she know, or did someone, encourage her to call Bridging and find out if they could do anything? Because a lot of people just don't know that you can get some assistance or services within the community. And luckily enough, you have given the zip code. So when this show airs, Michiganians, remember the zip codes are important, okay? So now let me ask you this: if somebody lives outside that zip code, do you have a sister agency or something that they can relate to get some similar services?
Well, as I said, we're a subcontract organization with the Detroit Area Agency on
Okay,
Aging,
okay.
and so the main number to contact them would get them hooked with a similar organization to Bridging Communities, or with Area Agency 1B, which services north or the other tri-county areas in southeast Michigan.
Because easily enough, people will be trying to call you and find out if they can get some services,
Sure.
but they should note the zip code. So you guys, when they call, you ask them what's your zip code, right?
Yes, we do. That's part of the initial screening process.
All right.
We get referrals from hospital discharge planners, from other neighbors, from, as I said, church leaders, from business leaders, and our own staff.
Because we're not trying to discourage people, but we do want them to honor the fact that there are zip codes to be, to go by, and if your office facility cannot assist them, that you can refer them to the one that's nearest them by their zip code.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
indeed.
All right. On that good note right there, we're going to come back again. We're going to take a break and come back with some more good information on you becoming a volunteer and prepare what's necessary for these cold days and nights coming. We'll be right back.
Targets by color. Odds are, if you're African American, you're twice as likely to suffer a stroke as white Americans. Know where you stand, because beating the odds isn't about winning, it's about living. Join the power to end stroke at strokeassociation.org.
60-inch screen, high definition. Football season is coming up. You can watch it right here. What do you think?
I'll take it.
Huh? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
You're right. I don't need it.
And welcome back to the last half of the show. For those of you who are just now joining us now, hopefully you have not seen all of this. You will get the phone number that Mr. Estabrook is going to give out, as well as the website. If you have a senior that you're concerned about, whether it's your grandparents, your parents, or if you're the senior that's concerned about some services, you need to contact Bridging Communities Incorporated and find out if there's any services that you are eligible for. And if they can't assist you, then you will be referred to their sister or brother agencies, okay, so that you won't be left out. So ladies and gentlemen, please keep in mind, we're here for you to give out some information that is most useful in the community. So David, without further ado, I had to get that out because a lot of people always think that, well, they can't help me, but they need to call first.
Sure.
Okay, so can we get that phone number from you again?
Sure. The phone numbers where they can reach us is 313-361-6377, 313-361-6377. They can call and ask for me, they can call and ask for anybody at the office, and we will get you hooked up with the appropriate organization that can meet your needs in your region if you're out of our Southwest Detroit region.
Okay. And what's the website again?
The website is www.bridgingcommunities.org. It's our organizational name, all one word, not any hyphens or anything like that. So it's bridgingcommunities.org is where they can look us up on the web if they do have web access.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good because I wanted to touch on the transportation, the volunteer transportation, and some upcoming events that you may be having.
Sure.
Okay.
With our services to the aging, and in association with the Detroit Area Agency on Aging, they did a study called Dying Before Their Time. You had kind of mentioned that or alluded to it earlier. What they found was there were seniors in the city of Detroit died 50% sooner than their suburban contemporaries. Unfortunately, the reasons leading up to that early mortality rate were threefold: lack of access to health care, poor living conditions, and untreated chronic illnesses. Bridging Communities responds to those needs with providing volunteer-based medical transportation at no charge to our seniors. We transport about 30 elders each month to doctor appointments. Our volunteers stay with the elder at the appointment, provide any kind of translation from medical jargon that may be confusing to our seniors, and then take the senior back home. We'll stop at the pharmacy and pick up their medicines for them.
Let me ask you something, because you know that's a good concept, but okay, now if a person calls the agency and say, I need transportation to my doctor's office, do they need to call so many days in advance to secure their ride?
Very good question, Marcia. We do need a 1-week advance notice so we can have time to line up volunteers. Unfortunately, our volunteer numbers for this medical transportation have decreased over the current months, given gas prices and the like. We're in need now of adding an additional 10 to 15 transporters who would be providing the services Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Is the times that we do the transportation. We understand our volunteers have family, and so we want them to be able to get home and have dinner with wife and kids, or husband and kids, as it were.
I got another part to my question. If a volunteer volunteers to take persons to and from their doctor's visit, what is a formal piece of identification to associate that person with the agency so that the elderly person know that that's where they came from? In other words, you know, some people might want to play trickery and be a super cop, and we want to know what would be something to identify.
We have volunteer badges that we distribute to our volunteer drivers. They have our Bridging Communities logo on them, and they say Bridging Communities Volunteer. So that would be an identification for our seniors to know. Also, we allow our volunteers to call our seniors to let them know, I'm driving a silver Corsica, and I'll be picking you up 45 minutes before your appointment.
So there is a connection between the two, not just somebody pulling up in front of the house.
Yes, indeed. Our volunteers notify our seniors that they will be the transporter, and so they have a dialogue over the phone. It also assists in reducing some of that isolation that our seniors feel, because then they get a voice-to-voice connection with the person that they'll be taking them to their doctor appointment. So again, it's relationship building.
You have to have one. Okay. What about the Meals on Wheels program, stuff like that? Are you guys part of that?
We do participate as a holiday Meals on Wheels organization. 4 times throughout the year, we have about 200 volunteers that deliver anywhere from 300 to 900 hot and cold meals to homebound seniors. Those holidays are Easter, Labor Day, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. So the morning of each of those holidays, we have volunteers come in for a continental breakfast. They get all charged up with bagels and coffee, and then they're able then to go out with the hot and cold meals and spend the holiday morning with our seniors who may not have another friendly visitor on that particular holiday. So in addition to delivering the hot and cold meals, they're actually delivering a nice social activity for our seniors as well.
Now, you guys have something to do with Swedish Day.
We do. 5 other times throughout the year, we provide holiday remembrances, is what we call them. The week before Valentine's Day, we have volunteers bake 4-inch heart-shaped cookies, and I always try to make a heart with my hands, and I can never do it. So you get the idea, though. 4-inch heart-shaped cookies, which are decorated, and then we deliver those to our seniors. The week before Easter, we deliver Easter lilies. The week before Swedish Day, we're delivering candy kiss carnations, or roses this year. The week before Thanksgiving, we deliver fruit baskets for our seniors that are donated to us, fresh fruits and vegetables donated to us. And then the week before Christmas, we do poinsettias. We reach about, as I say, about 2,000 seniors with these special deliveries each year.
Well, that's wonderful, because you can't go wrong with all those type of deliveries and all those type of warm, heartfelt events that come up. So some of the seniors know already that they're expecting to see you guys on Swedish Day.
That is correct. Yes, they are. Once they're a member of our Bridging Communities family, they stay a member of our family forever. So even if they may not be needing other supportive services from us, we still remember them on the holidays, so they can know that there's people thinking about them and they're not forgotten.
Okay. So now, before we go, I wanted to ask you something about the home repairs.
Right.
Okay, if someone needs some home repairs, is it minor home repairs, such as like now a wheelchair ramp is not a minor home repair. That's a addition. So if someone can call and find out if they are in need of a ramp or something, if their house can be, is it zoned, or how do they do that to find out?
They can call us again, and we will then go out and do an assessment on the home and find out exactly what their specific needs are. Our home repairs can range anything from having a teenage group from high school come in and cut grass at a bunch of our seniors' homes, to shoveling snow in the wintertime, to fixing a wobbly porch railing or doing some interior painting. We also have middle school groups that come and do interior housekeeping for our seniors that may be too frail at that point to be able to run the vacuum cleaner. So we have middle school students that come and do that, or rake leaves and the like. As fall's coming, we would like to be able to again put that.
So we have our youth involved in these programs, as well as our parents. The youth are involved as well.
Yes, it's a great family activity. All of our volunteers are welcome to bring their younger members of the family as well, and our seniors really brighten to the interaction with the young kids.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, David, you have given us a wealth of information today, and I know you can go on. I'm getting ready to wrap up, but ladies and gentlemen, if you need some information, you can honestly get one of these brochures sent to you. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So definitely, if you are in need of some information, you want to call Bridging Communities Incorporated at 313-361-6377 and ask them to send you a brochure, or ask them the questions over the phone, so that you can see if you're eligible for the services in the area codes that were mentioned, and if not, zip codes that were mentioned, and if not, then find out which zip code you're in, which agency will provide you services. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay,
you summed it up well.
Can't get no better than that. David, thank you, and please come back and join us again.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know who I am. I'm your host, Marsha Florence, for Just Ask, and I'm here for you, my staff and I, to enlighten you on information dealing with the disabled, the elderly, their caregivers, and the general public. So, as you know, what do I always say? If you have a question for a person with a disability, or just a general question, don't be afraid to ask. Just ask. I'm your host, Marsha Florence. Thank you.